Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing some more walkthrough solves because a lot of people really wanted me to do more walkthrough solves. And now I had mixed opinions on my last one. Some of you really enjoyed it and thought it was the best way to do walkthrough solves, but people had pointed out to me that it's also not the best way because if I do solves where I can think about things more, I can show you more tricks, whereas those might not pop up in a solve. So to satisfy both crowds, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do 5 from both categories, one where I film my solves and then tell you what I did, and then one where I just show you what I think I would do. So let's get right into it. So right off the bat here, looking at white. White, yeah, actually, okay, white's pretty good, and I can see my first pair. So what I see here is I see that blue, white is right here, green, white's right here, orange there, and red here. So I'm also tracing this pair. So what I'm going to do is a D, which sets these two up, and then I can go like this, and then place both of these opposite, which sets up both of these, and then D2 to fix my cross, and then this is the pair that I tracked, so I would go ahead and solve this. And while I was solving that, I saw these two right here, so I would go ahead and solve that. And as I did this one, I noticed this edge and that corner, so I would go ahead and do this. And then I saw this corner back here, and the edge is right there, so I would just solve that. And then AoLong, and then an R-perm. White is pretty decent again, but I see that yellow has this repair right here, which could potentially be nice. But I'm not really liking how I'd have to preserve it, so I would probably just go back to white here. And I'd probably do something like place both of these right here. So I would do L2, F2, place these right here, so I can fix them with a D. But then I have these two right here, so I'd probably do R, D prime, R, or F, R, D2. I see this pair right here. Go ahead and solve that. And I also see this pair back here and this corner. And I noticed that it's got to be in this slot because I didn't see anywhere up top, and it's not right here. So go ahead and do this. And then this edge right here. And then OLL. And PLL. Okay, so right here I see that this blue-white piece is opposite right away. Orange-white's right here. Red-white can be solved easy, and green-white's up here. So this doesn't look like the most fantastic cross ever. Not quite sure how I would approach this. It'd probably be something terrible, like I would move this out, put this white piece here, put this down, move these over here, insert this right here, D to fix my cross, and then solve this pair, which is pretty terrible, and I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but cross is not one of my strong points. Now I see this pair here, and I think this pair back here is solved, so I'd do a U2, and it wasn't. So if I was doing a solve, that just would have been unlucky. So I'd go ahead and solve this pair. Now I see this pair, and I see this corner right here, which I know is going to end up back there. So I can go right into this, and then these two right here. And then OLL, which gives me a U-perm. Thinking I would probably do something like solve orange-white, then do blue-white, but over rotate so I can solve this, and then I have green-white. And now as I did this, I saw that this, I saw this corner and this edge one here. I'd go ahead and solve that in the back. I see these two, and then right here I noticed that I can solve this and get my EO. So I would do U2 and then do this to get my EO. And now just OLL gives me a Z perm. All right, so here, this should be a pretty easy cross, I think. Yes, so what I would do is solve green-white to right here, move this so that it's against this opposite center, do an F move, and then R2 to solve blue-white, And now I have these three right here. So I would do D2 and then R prime. And now I don't see anything right away. I see this edge right here, and I think its corner is here. Yes. So I would go ahead and solve these. And while I did that, I built a pair in the back. Go ahead and solve that. I can solve this with triple sexy. And then this pair right here. And then just the solo. And N perm. All right, so for this first scramble here, I immediately saw these white pieces all over. So I knew I could do F prime R prime to solve these two opposite of their centers. So I also saw this pair in the beginning here. So I was tracking this as I did it. F prime R prime to do these. Then here, D, L, D, R prime. And I knew this was going to be here, so I immediately did that. Like that. I saw this pair right here, U2 inserted in the back. Rotate it again to solve this. And then rotated because of this pair and EO. I could solve this from the back, but I wanted to do EO here. U anti-soon, and then L perm. Okay, so for this one, I messed this solve up pretty bad, just poor look ahead. But how I solved it was I knew I could do F, which would bring this cross piece opposite of back here, and then blue-white would go up here. And I saw this back here. So I did F, D2, and now I knew I could bring this over here, which solves that there. And then I could do this, and then R2. And then for whatever reason, I did this pair first. I must have kind of tracked that while I was solving it. So I did that, solve it in the back. And then I saw this pair right here. And I knew this pair was going to form. So now I do this, which just sets up to this case. And then I rotated and I knew I was going to get a dot case if I didn't do this right. So I did U2, pair it up, and then M prime, like that. And now I knew I could get a U perm if I did a AoG from over here, but I decided it wasn't worth it. So I just went and did my standard AoG, and then it went into a V perm. So for this scramble, what I saw right away was this orange-white piece and this pair, so I kept that in mind. I knew I could solve this red-white piece in one move. Green-white's right here, and blue-white is up here. So what I did is R prime to solve the green-white piece. D solves this. And now since I kept the slot in back, I made sure that when I solve this, this pair just comes to the top. So I did L prime, B prime. Now that's on top. Solve this pair. I did a U, rotate, insert this. So I saw this blue right here. I just assumed it was this edge. Paired them up, solved this right here. Rotated U2, solved these. And then I saw these two right in front of me and just solved those like normal. Saw this. And then I think I did like a U prime U to figure out what PLL I had, and then F perm. So for this one, I immediately saw this orange-white could go right here in one move, which would move blue over here, but it would be flipped. And I saw this. So, and I also saw this pair right here. So I kept track of this. So what I did is D to solve this pair, L to put this right here, which moves that pair there. R prime F R2 to solve these pieces. U L2. And then I immediately went for this pair. Solve that. And then this pair. And then these. Now these two. And when I solved them, I did a back insert like that to avoid the dot case. Got a P shape. And then a G perm. Alrighty, so for right here, what I saw was this blue-white could be solved like that, but I knew I needed to do a D2 to get this over here. I knew this orange-white was right here, so and I also tracked my first pair, so I saw this corner and this edge, and I knew they'd both be like right here. So I did D, R2 to get these two, and then D to solve them both, L prime to solve that, insert this edge like that, and then that set up these two right here. Solve them in the back. And then right here, oh, this is a little stupid how I solved this. So I saw this edge right here, and I like to do keyhole stuff. Now, had I been smart, I would have done a rotation D, RUR prime, D prime, like that. But the inefficient part of me rotated and then did U2, RU prime, R prime, and then D. So that was just a little silly. I'm not quite sure why I did that. Then I rotated again to solve these two. Solve them in the back. And then these two right here. Rotate again. This OLL. And then an L perm. So yeah, that's all the walkthrough solves. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I can kind of please both sides, and hopefully you learned something. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.